8 years ago, when he exploded on the music scene, he took Indian popular music by storm. Whether it's films like Roja or Bombay, Taal or Dil Se, or albums like Vande Mataram or Jana Gana Mana, the effect was stunning. But one big question has always remained. What is he like? What has his life been like? What makes him tick? Those are questions that up to now he hasn't seemed to answer. Well, let's see if he changes his mind today as you meet Allah Rakha Rehman. There's a big mystery, almost a secret about your personal life. Is that because you've deliberately kept it that way, or is it because people have never asked you the right questions?
I think it's the second one. People have not asked me the right questions.
So if I ask the right questions, I might be able to open the box and get the secrets.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. You were born in 1967 in Mylapore. What sort of family were you born into?
My father was a composer, and he was also an arranger. And my mom was an ordinary housewife. And he was a workaholic. And I think it was what I'm going through now, which he went through that time. Almost a hectic schedule kind of thing, night and day work.
So music, in a sense, was inherited through your genes almost.
Yeah.
Now, as you said, your father, R.K. Shekhar, was a musician. Was it film music that he was into?
He was into plays first, and he was doing music for plays, and then he assisted a lot of music directors, arranged for them. In those days, music directors just had tunes with them, and they needed an arranger to do all the background music and stuff like that. So he was the only person who did, for mostly in Malayalam. And after that, he did his first movie, and unfortunately, when the movie got released, the day it got released, he died.
Sadly, in fact, you were 6 when he first fell ill, and he stayed ill for about 2-3 years. What happened?
It was very mysterious, I think. They diagnosed it, I think it was like cancer, and then somebody said it was voodoo, and it was very confusing. I don't remember much since I was too young at that time. But we went through a lot of tough time in my childhood.
Your father's death when you were 9 must have shattered you.
I didn't get it that time because I was too young, and then I think it was almost when I was 18 I missed him. That's when I began to realize that I didn't have a father.
It was about the time when you lost your father that your family converted to Islam, am I right?
It was much later, but there was a Sufi who was treating him towards the end days of his, maybe a week or two before he died. And he later, we met him later after probably 7 or 8 years later, and then that's when we led another spiritual path which gave us peace.
So it was a process that started when your father was dying, but you actually converted 8-9 years later.
Yeah, right.
When you converted, you changed your name from Dilip Kumar to Allah Rakha Rehman. How did you choose your new name?
My mother chose Allah Rakha, and it kind of, she saw it, heard it in a dream or something like that, and then Rahman was chosen by the members of my family.
Did it take long to get used to having a new name?
The basic thing was, I was almost working every day of my childhood, and it was like into the studios and going back to school, and then after that, after finishing high school, I quit school and I started working from 9 to 9, and then night 10 to 5 in the morning I did jingles. So it was almost like a intoxicated, just work kind of thing.
So you were never really conscious of your name?
Yeah, conscious about anything.
So when you changed from Dilip to Allah Rakha Rehman, the change didn't really matter. You just took it in your stride.
I wanted something. I wanted to get out of that conscience. I wanted to get out of it and start a new life. So this thing helped me a lot.
This was like
I was a keyboard player, and then I became a composer. So when I was a composer, I started becoming a composer. This helped me a lot to become more daring, rebelling, and.
So in a sense, changing name, changing faith is a way of closing one chapter and opening another chapter.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the situation you faced when your father died. You were 9, as you say, the family was left in a bad way. How bad were things?
You know what? Without money, nothing moves in the world, and he left over some equipments and stuff. So I was almost like a roadie, which they call, to set up equipments for other people to play. And then my mom suggested that why don't you go full time into music and do it yourself.
Did you have to leave school, or did you have to do this at the same time as doing your studies?
Both. I started doing it at the same time, which was so difficult at school because school people didn't know anything about it, and they would shout at me, "What the hell are you doing? Without attendance, how can you?"
They would complain that you weren't concentrating
because
on studies.
they were doing the duty, and it came to a position where I had to choose one of it. Then I chose music for it.
At what age did you then drop out of school and choose music?
When I was in +1, I think.
And then at that point, music took over.
Yeah.
Now, I know that in the early days, the articles that are written claim that you worked with some of the leading Tamil directors, including Ilaiyaraaja. Is that correct?
Yeah.
When it says work, what did that mean?
It was, I think, I started full-time studio sessions I think in